Hi everyone, welcome to our COVID-19 Learning for Algebra 2 Essentials. Okay, so right here on day one, I have a few things I want to talk to you about, and then we're going to review a little bit because it's been a while since we've talked about any of our math stuff. Okay, so here we go. First thing I want to go over is some expectations that I'm going to have for this class. Okay, first off, here you are, day one. I'm just introducing a video so that way you can watch it on your time. We are going to be on about a 3-day rotation schedule, okay? So here's how it's going to work. Day one, so today is Monday, March 30th. We're watching a video, doing some examples. Okay, day two is going to be a practice day where you are going to practice, do a little worksheet on your own, turn it in, and how I'm going to have you do that is you're going to take a picture and you are going to upload it on Google Classroom as your assignment, and I will show you how to do that. You can take one on your Chromebook pretty easy, so I can check your work, and on day number 3, that's when we're going to have a live day. Okay, now on those live days, I'm going to tell you right now, and I know it's not fun because it's 8:30 in the morning, guys, but at 8:30 a.m., okay, is when we're meeting on live days. Okay, we meet when our class meets on that bell schedule, which we meet at first block 8:30 in the morning. Okay, so on the days 1 and 2, there's no requirement as to what time you do your math, but on day 3 of the schedule, it is required that you are meeting with me at 8:30 in the morning. Okay, we will be on that rotation 1 through 3 until it comes to quiz days. And I will kind of give you a little bit of a warning. Hey, we're going to have a quiz on this date at this time. And on one of our live days, we will try to schedule that because I also want quizzes to be live as well. And if it does not work that the day I want that quiz to be live, you are not available during class, well then maybe we're going to have to work out a different time in the afternoon sometime that you could meet to do that quiz. Okay? The other expectation for our class is that we will be doing attendance every single day. Okay? Now, when we do attendance every single day, I did put that on Google Classroom, that those attendance will be a question of some kind that you will need to hop on and answer. Okay, I did put that in my expectations. So each day around 8 o'clock is probably what I will post it. I just prefer that at some point in time between 8 o'clock and 3:24, you answer that question. Okay, now these questions are going to be something fun, something silly. What's your favorite color, your favorite book? Would you rather go skydiving or swim with sharks? Personally, I want to swim with the sharks. But here we go. We're going to kick back where we left off, which was we were doing a bunch of factoring, guys. So because it's been a long time since we have been together, I am going to start back at the beginning, day 1 today. And when we meet, or when I have my next lesson here that I actually record, it will be over some trinomials, okay? Just to kind of get us back in the groove of how we did some of our factoring, okay? So, GCF review. Just a reminder that a greatest common factor, okay, GCF must go into all of the terms, okay? As I get going here, I am going to tell you that anytime you need to pause the video, that's the great thing about video recordings. You pause it, you write down what you need to do, you play again. Okay, so for some of you that write a little slower than others, this will probably work out to your advantage. Okay, so GCF must go into all terms. So when I have this here and I say, hey, let's factor out the GCF. Remember that I like to first look at the numbers, okay? This is kind of how we've talked about it. Look at the numbers, 6 and 8. Okay, what do 6 and 8 have in common? And if it helps you to write down 6 and 8 and write down all their factors, remember to get 6, okay, well it's 1 times 6. 6 is also 2 times 3, okay? 8 is 1 times 8, but it's also 2 times 4, okay? So remember, they have some things in common. So they have a 1 in common. They also have a 2 in common. But remember, our goal is the greatest. Okay? Greatest common factor. Okay? So what do they have that is the greatest? Well, right now they're sharing a 2. Okay? That is their greatest common factor. Now, the variables, x squared. Remember, I can write x squared like this if I want to. X squared is x times x. Well, x is just itself, x. So what do they have in common? They have one x in common. I'm going to have to tell you guys right now, I'm giggling just a little bit because my son's upstairs playing with a parrot that repeats itself and repeats everything he says, and it's pretty funny. So they also have that x that is in common. Remember that GCF is going to go on the outside, outside of your parentheses, okay? And I'm going to put anything that's left. Remember to find what's left to go on the inside. If I take 6 and I divide it by 2, well, 6 divided by 2 is 3, okay? X squared, divide it by the x, well, it's 3x, okay? Now, if I do the same thing here, if I take this negative 8x and divide it by 2, that's where I get the negative 4, and I took this x right here and right here, so it's nothing left. Remember, you can always, always, always check your answer if you want to by distributing this back out to see if you get the original. 2x times 3x, well, yep, 6x squared, okay? 2x times negative 4. Negative 8x, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a couple of more here together, and then I'm going to put up a problem or a page that has 3 examples that I want you to do on your own. As I put up these next couple, if you feel confident already, you're like, hey, I remember this, I got it, then you go ahead, feel free to pause, okay? But here we go. Here's my next example. Now, nothing's going to stop you from writing down the numbers like I did off to the side over there with a 6 and 8 that I did before. You can do that on every question if you want to. You also do not have to. Right now, I'm going to factor out the GCF, and for myself, I'm going to look at these smaller 2 numbers, guys, 9 and 12. What do 9 and 12 even have in common? The only thing other than 1 that I can think of is 3. Okay, does that same 3 go into 15? Absolutely. So that tells me right now they have a 3 in common. Now remember, when it comes to the variables, you cannot have more in common than what they have. For instance, both of these have an a squared, but this last one does not. So that means they only have an a in common. Alright? Same thing with, hey, I have a b to the 3rd, a b to the 4th. Oh, I have b squared. So that means they only have 2 of them that they have in common. However you want to do this, you can take this and you can write above it, hey, a squared is a times a times a. Okay, well, they only have one a in common. Okay, b to the 3rd, b to the 4th, b squared. Okay, well, they got 2 of them here, 2 in common. Okay, whatever's easiest for you to show what they have in common here. All right, here we go. I took out the GCF. Let's put what's left. Okay, so 15 divided by 3 is 5. It had an a squared, but I took an a, so a. It had b to the 3rd, but I took 2 of them, so b. Remember, I'm going to do that for each term. Positive 12 divided by 3, 4. I took 1 a and I took 2 of the b's, so that's why I'm going to say b squared. Okay, last one here. When I take negative 9 and divide it by 3, I get negative 3. And I have a and b squared, a and b squared here. So I just leave it at negative 3. Remember, you can, again, check your answer by multiplying it back out. Alright, one more example here before I have you do a few on your own. Negative 2. Negative 8 and negative 6, what do they all have in common? Well, that negative 2, negative 8, and negative 6, they each have a negative. So I'm going to start with that they have a negative in common. Well, 2, does 2 go in all of those numbers? Absolutely. Well, they have a negative 2 in common. Okay? Looking at the variables, if you're somebody who likes to write them out, I'm not going to stop you. Now, you do not have to do this. If you find it helpful, you may do this. Okay? How many m's do they have in common? Well, this one has 2, this one has 1, this one has 3. So that means they only have 1 that they can share. This one has 4 n's, 3 n's, and 1 n, so only 1 n. Alright, and as I go through writing out my final answer here, -2 divided by -2 is a +1. Remember, you do not have to put that 1 if you do not want to, but you are welcome to every time. And I'm going to say I have an m into the third. When I move on to my next term here, -8 divided by -2, +4. And I now have an m, oh, no m at all. Took the m. I just have n squared. And then that last term here, when I take -6 and divide it by -2, +3, m squared, and there's the end. Okay, so on this last page here, I want you to pause it, and I want you to write all these down, and I want you to give them all a go. All right, give them a try. I am going to put the answers for 1, 2, and 3 down at the bottom, and then tomorrow you can come back and do some practice. All right, looking at the answers here real quick. Okay, on number 2, I'm going to say that one right there. You want to make sure if you got something wrong here, you want to make sure you put that +1 at the end. Okay, there we go. And on number 3, 7, 13, and 11 didn't have anything other than 1 in common. Do you have to put this 1 on the outside? The answer is no. I did not do a negative because this negative, or this 7 right here, was not negative. Okay? After this video here, you are done for the day. Tomorrow when you hop on, there will be a few practice problems for you to try. I'm sorry today's video is a little bit long, but I had a little bit of explaining to do there at the beginning about expectations. The rest of our videos should be a little bit shorter than this. So thanks guys. If you have any questions, email me and I will be sure to answer you.